All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a live campaign kickoff call. These calls we host every single Monday as an opportunity to go through the this week's marketing plan with you. I'm flying solo today because Lee Atkins is on the road meeting up with his partner. He's actually in the process of, hopefully this is not a spoiler alert, Lee, when you go back to watch a recording of this. He's writing a book about how to run a real estate team. So he's been in the process of doing this for passion project for some time now, and we're wishing him nothing but the absolute best. So on that note, if this is your first campaign kickoff call, this is a call that we host every single Monday at 2 p.m. as an opportunity to kind of go through what's happening this week at Listing Leads. Many people who are part of our community who are OGs they know the script, which is we at Listing Leads power your marketing strategy. It's three basic principles that we follow. Number one, we always want to be growing your database. How do we reach more people? Number two, we want to be engaging your database. How do we get people to sort of raise their hand? How to get them to basically reply to an email, opt into a post on social media, or call you from a direct mail campaign. And then finally, number three, how do we actually convert that engagement into appointments to help drive revenue for your business? Lots of options you have out there to get assistance with your marketing. Listing Lead just specializes in making the phone ring and booking your calendar. I can't make you a great real estate agent, but I can make you a busy one. And that's why you're here for us today. So on that note, let's go through the lay of the land here before we get into the content. This call is being recorded. We post this in our private mastermind group, and if you log into listingleads.com, you'll see here I'm in our account under coaching calls. You will see every previous campaign kickoff call that we have, including our master classes and our fast tracks. Everything is in one place. So if you're ever wondering where do I go to get the recording, it's in Listing Leads under coaching calls. You can access every previous recording along with the show notes. So, as I mentioned, this is a fast-paced 20-minute session where we just go through this week's plan, get you dialed in, ready to go, so you can go out there and execute. I will be covering a quick update on AI Pro, which we launched last Friday or last week. We closed out the cart on last Friday. I mean, just an incredible response from our community. We had hundreds and hundreds of people sign up to join the new Pro program. I'll save that for the very end, but I want to make sure we get back to the basics and doing the things to help grow our business. So on that note, let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to walk you through at a high level the listing attraction plan for this week. Now, as a reminder, on the left-hand side, when you log into Listing Leads, you're going to see an option for Listing Attraction Plan. This is going to be your go-to spot. Every time you log into Listing Leads, you're going to go to Listing Attraction Plan. And as you see here, we have your plan laid out for the entire week. Now, in your plan, we include campaigns specifically for email and social. We include scripting for prospecting, and we include posts for YouTube. For most of our clients, they're trying to grow their business by not having to buy internet leads and chase them, but rather to actually attract their own customers. And it's my belief, and it's our belief here at Listing Leads, that the number one skill that you can develop is selling to strangers. And if you can develop that superpower through great marketing, through great follow-up, through great content, then what ends up happening is you can create this sort of engine of growth for your business. And it is the mark of a really good agent who can get out there and actually attract customers beyond just their SOI and their sphere. So on that note, left-hand side here, Monday, as always, is the deal of the week. Now, I've covered this, about 300 times, but if you're not familiar with the deal of the week, the concept is very simple. Every single week, there's new listings that have hit the market in the last 7 days. And, there's a great line that I love from a guy I follow on Instagram, and his name's going to escape me, and I'm going to put it in the show notes. But he says, wealthy people don't want options, they want a plan. The same thing is true for the deal of the week. What you're doing, you're saying, let me demonstrate that I'm a good agent, that I actually know the market, that I can actually synthesize all the things that are happening into a really simple, easy message. So the basic idea is, hey, a bunch of homes have hit the market in the last 7 days. I've analyzed all of them. Here's the one that I think is the very best. If you want to get all the information about this home, just reply to this email, comment below on social, and I'll get you the details. Now, a deal of the week campaign can be a price reduction, can be an off-market listing, can be a pre-foreclosure. And of course, it can be a home that just hit the market that's going to go viral or has gone viral on Zillow. We have a free tool if you're trying to basically find a good deal of the week in your market, we have a free tool called automate.listingleads.com/deal. If you go to that link, you can actually search your area. It works in the US. You could search your area. And by the way, Bethany's in the chat helping answer questions. Thank you, Bethany, for covering down today. Um, Shout out to Bethany, who's the creative engine behind Listing Leads. If you go to automate.listingleads.com/deal, you can actually find this is a free tool for listing leads. You can find deals in your area, and we'll actually help write the copy for you as well. Okay, so let's move on. Monday, we're trying to engage your database. We're shooting a video, we're posting on social, we're sending the email. Every Monday, without fail, I want you executing the deal of the week. Again, as a reminder, it can be off market, coming soon, major price reduction, pre foreclosure. But like, what is the most important thing you need to know? I actually talked about this recently in a fast track last week. I have this opportunity to work with this guy who's going to help with social media because I'm always learning, always growing. They charge $7,000 a month. And in the first phone call, he gave me something that was worth the first month's payment. He goes, Jimmy, if you're trying to, you do a good job of social, you're very, you're obviously consistent, you're posting a lot, people can see value. He goes, but there's one mistake you're making. I said, what is it? He goes, you have to lead with the most important information first. And I love that. I love that frame, which is with an email. Oftentimes, email marketing or social media, we're like, hey, hope you're doing well. I want to give you a quick update. There's some things that are happening you should know about. Everything I just said is not important. Everything I said is preamble. And we learned this in copywriting a lot. Sometimes, Beth and I were talking about this the other day. Like sometimes, like the second section of the website after the headline is actually the best part of this website because you kind of get rid of the preamble and you get right into the meat. That's what we're doing with the deal of the week. So when I go back to the deal of the week, the idea behind is like, listen, I have analyzed the 35 homes that hit the market in the last 7 days, and I found one that I think is a very good deal. Here's why. Da 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 da. All right. Most important information first, and then you follow up with the context, and then you have an offer. Now, before I move on to the email of the week, I want to give a quick pro tip here too. All of us, let me know in the chat right now. Do you sometimes struggle? With like coming up with short form videos for social media? Just put a W in the chat right now if that is you. Like if you're that person who's like, listen, I want to be active on social. I know it helps me grow my brand. I know we live in an attention economy. Okay. Let me give you a quick pro tip here. Every single week for the deal of the week, here's what I would do. I would pull up my phone, okay? And I would grab my phone and I would actually record the screen of the MLS. Okay, so in your MLS, I always call it the Bloomberg terminal. When you log in, it makes you feel like, as a consumer, like the agent has access to information that you don't as a consumer have. So I would actually have my screen pulled up on my MLS. And the video I would shoot was this. Hey everyone, I just actually analyzed, I turned the camera to the actual like the screen of the MLS. I actually just analyzed the 35 homes that just hit the market in Southern New Hampshire, and I came across what I think is the very best deal. I think this home is actually going to sell probably 30 to 40% faster because it has A feature, B feature, C feature, which are what buyers want in this market. If you want to get all the details about this listing, just comment below. That's it. I mean, that's the type of video. It's okay to do a video like that every week without fail. And because obviously you can mix and match with it in terms of like it's a coming soon, it's an off market, it's a pre foreclosure. You can say I just analyzed the MLS or I just toured the property, right? But that's a standard video that you could create every single week. That would be an absolute home run. Doesn't require a lot of work, doesn't need a lot of post production polish, but it's a way to take this kind of deal of the week concept and extend it to other channels. Are you guys with me on this? Like put a W in the chat if that makes sense. That's a video all of us could be doing. And by the way, someone says that you make it look so easy. Julie, I'm telling you right now, like it's easy. Like this is just a quick lesson here on this because Julie pulled up a great point, which is one lesson I learned in marketing, and it's a lesson I learned in building businesses as well, which is when you do something new, you have a negative feedback loop. Meaning, If I'm sending an email for the first time, I got to figure out what email tool I'm using. I got to figure out what lists I'm sending to. I got to figure out, get the copy from listing leads. I got to log into listing leads. I haven't done that before. Maybe I've done it once every month. I got to then figure out like, okay, do I have got the right formatting for it? Okay, did I actually do it correctly? Should I send it right now? Should I schedule it? So you go through when you do something new, you go through a series of steps that all feel hard and all add friction. And they all of them give you a good excuse to stop doing the work. But what I would tell you is that once you get into the rhythm of being consistent with your marketing and you shoot a video like that, the one I just did, and you've done it like 7 or 8 times, it's going to fly for you. You'll know exactly what to say. You'll know exactly what to post. You'll know exactly how to get people to engage, and you'll start to move because you've got, consistency creates efficiency, and efficiency increases your output. And if you do that, you get better results. That's the thing that no one really talks about in marketing that I believe is sort of the sort of secret sauce behind the scenes. So on that note, let me go back to share my screen. I got to talk about this week's email because I love it. I mean, like, listen, we're not supposed to have favorites here at Listing Leads, but I love this email so much, and I know it's going to be a banger for you. So we created a campaign a while back called the Name Your Price campaign. It crushed. And every once in a while, and by the way, actually in the chat, let me know. Do you guys remember that campaign? The Name Your Price campaign? Let me know in the chat. Some of you probably have seen this one. If you've been part of Listing Leads for a while, you definitely remember from last year. So the basic campaign was like, how do we get people to opt into a CMA without actually saying like, hey, do you want to know what your home's worth? So we created this new campaign called Now versus Last Year. I'm going to pull it up so you can see this. The subject line is now versus last year. Now we know the versus types of subject lines always do well because like we have enough data from YouTube to tell us, hey, like versus videos like almost always rank better than non-versus videos in the feed. They kill. And so the subject line is now versus last year. Then the preview text, which is what shows up in the inbox, says, I'm pulling the numbers today. Hi, Mia. Compared to last year, we're seeing way more buyer activity. Now, if you want to personalize this, like if you have some specific data from your MLS, hey, compared to last year, we're seeing a 15% increase in buyer activity. You don't need to do anything with that information, but I'm pulling numbers for my clients today. Has anyone run a home valuation for you recently? Team, what I'm trying to do here, this is like an email that is short, sweet, and to the point, designed to get people to raise their hand. Get people say, oh, no, it's been a while. This gives you the opportunity to get people, a bunch of people replying, talking about maybe potentially the idea of putting their house on the market. So this is kind of a modern day version of the Name Your Price campaign. Now, what we do, and I'll give you kind of a quick pro tip on just copywriting in general, but this is an email, like in the chat, does this email feel really, really short when you read it? Like put a W in the chat. Like can like if you're a consumer, does this feel like a really short email? Like is this a skimmable email? This is so important when you're writing emails, especially for direct response. It's actually not what we put in the email, it's what we didn't put in the email. We stripped everything away from this thing, so it's going to fly. Okay? And so what you're looking at right now, one of the things, Shelly, great question. Why not text? Shelly, hang with us here. Hang with us here. I'm going to come back to text in a second. This is an email you can send out to your into your entire database, not just your SOI, but your entire database. And by the way, Megan's like, it almost feels weird how short it is. Like Megan, such a great call out. Like when you write emails, you almost always want to like add more stuff to it. Like, given the choice, would a consumer prefer to read a short email or a long email? The answer is, of course, we all want short emails. And so, by the way, Annette's asking, where's the email? Annette, this is in the listing attraction plan. It's on Tuesday. So I'm on Tuesday right now, Annette. Click on that, and then there's the email. Again, you can copy, paste it, and send it. Now, here's the thing. One of the things that we do at Listing Leads is we try this concept of like, raise the stakes but lower the pressure. What do we mean by that? Raise the stakes but lower the pressure. What we mean is, how do we increase the kind of intensity and the urgency around this type of campaign without falling into the traps of do this now, click on this now, follow up now. If you don't do this, you're making a huge mistake. Now's the never time, better time to buy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Raise the stakes, make it more important right now, and then lower the pressure because nobody in any circumstance ever wants to be pressured into doing something. And so when you create marketing campaigns, you want to figure out a way to increase the urgency and intensity without basically giving people a bad taste in their mouth. That's exactly what we did. So that line, the line that actually is so good here, let's go talk about lowering the pressure. You don't need to do anything with that information. We're giving them permission to say, listen, we're just passing this along. But now let me raise the stakes. I'm polling some numbers today. Today being the kind of operative word there. Has anyone run a valuation for you recently? Okay, so now you've got the email of the week. It went out on, you did the deal of the week, excuse me. You did the deal of the week on Monday. You did the post, you did the video on social. Okay, Tuesday, we're cranking. Another email goes out. Now we start hitting the phones. Now, I am a text-first prospector. I'm a huge believer in texting as a strategy versus just calling. Now, to be clear, I'm all about calling, but texting is sort of the mode of communication we all prefer these days. And I don't want to speak in generalities, but for the most part, it's an easier way to sort of filter through who's most interested. And I don't know about you, you got to let me know in the chat, like how many of you, given the choice, if you're trying to find a great lead or find a book an appointment, would prefer to text 100 people versus call? Like drop in the chat right now. What would you prefer to do? Text 100 people to get an appointment or call? If you're like me, I'd rather text. Faster, easier, more efficient. I feel like I'm not bothering people. At the same time, it does create opportunity. And by the way, Shelly's saying texting works but calling works better. Here's our argue, Shelly. It's not either or, it's the order. Text first, call second. Because texting first, you kind of lay the groundwork for context, and then calling in addition to that, now they kind of know who's actually calling them is the point. So here's this week's Power Hour script. I'll pull it up. Hey, Bethany, just sent out an email about buyer activity being up, and a bunch of my clients asked for updated home valuations. Has anyone run one for you recently? Now we're using kind of the standard listing leads copywriting framework, which is this just happened. Bring something new, right? This just happened. I just sent an email out to my database. I got a bunch of people respond. Here's my offer. Here's my desired call to action. Has anybody run one for you recently? And so just to be crystal clear about this, every week I want you starting your week off with 1 to 2 emails. Deal of the week, email of the week. You now have, let's say, engaged hundreds or thousands of people in your database. Now you can go through, sort your CRM by the people who have recently opened up an email, and just start texting the people at the top of that list. And what I would love for you to do, if I could wave a magic wand, I would have you text about 25 people per day this exact script. So we send the first email, just to be clear, we send the first email, deal of the week. We do the post, we do on social, we do the video. Great. Now we're starting to build up some momentum. We send the second email. Awesome. Now all of a sudden, I've got like maybe 100 or 200 people who have engaged with my content. Now I'm going to follow up on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, just texting about 25 of those people per day. I'm not trying to reach out to 1,000 in one day. I'm spreading it out kind of consistently, just doing a quick power hour first thing. And the lesson I want to teach you today is this idea, like the moment you realize that getting customers is as important as servicing the ones you've already got is when you will have a massive unlock in your business. Getting customers is not less important. It's as important as servicing the customers you've already got. And that mindset all of a sudden starts to reflect on your calendar, where you begin to prioritize emailing and social and prospecting in addition to managing and servicing your current book of business. Okay, so let's end with this. Come back to the listing attraction plan. We have 2 more posts for you. We have this one's pretty self-explanatory. This is a social media post that's designed to create some opportunities and conversations. I started to think about selling, but stopped because blank. my interest rate, I know where to go, economy. I'm just trying to basically create a conversation starter using a social media story. We have a whole video of this in our help center if you're new to using social media, but the short version is I don't care if you got 50 people who look at your stories on Instagram or 500. Instagram polls are one of the fastest, easiest, and best ways for you to get leads, high quality leads from Instagram. And then lastly, because we know our community loves the idea of leveraging YouTube in a more effective way, we always end the week with the featured video of the week. This is an example of a video that went viral. This is from Florida Living with Tammy. I'll pause it real quick. This video here, it's got an ad for it. This video here had 327,000 views. Look at that. 327,000 views. Why are so many people regretting moving to Florida? Don't make these mistakes. And this video here that I'm pulling up right now is what we refer to as an outlier. So we found the video for you. We added it to our video library, so you can see here as inspiration, but now we've got it on the plan. Do a version of this for your area. If you're trying to get traction on YouTube and really grow your brand on YouTube, like get good at copying the best creators before you start innovating with new ideas. Get good at like the R&D side before you go out there and try like the brand new idea that's never been done before. It's easier, it's faster, it's more predictable, sort of like an indicator of success. So on Friday, we always dedicate Friday to your video of the week. Now, let's end with this. These calls again are a fast-paced 20-minute session where we walk through this week's plan. In this week's plan, we have a social media post. We have a video script. We have 2 email campaigns. We have another social media post. We have a YouTube campaign. And of course, we have our sales script of the week. If you're new to listing leads and you want like a detailed walkthrough of every aspect of it, we do have our listing leads basic training. This, let's say you're either signed up for a while ago and haven't used it, or you're like, hey, I just literally saw your email last week, Jimmy, and I just joined listing leads. I joined the community. I would highly recommend you attend our listing leads basics. This will get you really comfortable with the platform, where to go, how to use it. But this call is entirely dedicated to going over this week's plan. So I want to make sure that I don't forget to mention this. Like, focus on executing the basics. Do the social posts, do the emails, send the texts, build up that momentum going into the spring market, and make sure you prioritize this in addition to servicing your current customers. Last thing for you. And by the way, yeah, Lucy, we'll send you a link over to the basics. We'll have the basics call as well. We'll make sure we include a link there as well. So Bethany, you'll grab that for us. What are your thoughts about buying lists? I am okay for buying lists for the purposes of like circle prospecting. I'm okay for direct mail and farming. I would not buy a list and then email that list. That's kind of a faux pas when it comes to cold outreach. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble. So I would not buy a list and then go out there and like email it. But you certainly can buy a list, scrub it against a DNC, and then make some phone calls as well. All right. I know that we had Leslie's asking, what was the name of the guy who did regret moving to Florida? So Leslie, I'll share my screen again real quick so you can see this. In the post, Leslie, if you go to listing leads, we actually link over to Tammy's post here. So we include that in the introduction section. So you can go back here and grab that as well. I mentioned we had, by the way, for those of you, I want to know real quick, because I got a ton of people reaching out about last week's training on Friday for AI Pro. So we just released our new AI suite, which is, I mean, these are workflow tools that we have built to help you execute like the best listing leads campaigns. So the ZMA, the expired cannonball, or the magic buyer. So we built a whole series of AI tools. I realized over the weekend that there was a lot of clients who emailed me who missed everything. Like, did you miss all of that last week? The whole launch of AI Pro? Like, just put a yes in the chat if you missed it. Okay. So I feel bad because obviously we sent like 3 emails. We did big training on it, but you guys are busy. I understand that. So what we're going to do is everybody who missed the training and launch of AI Pro, if you missed it, like you want to get a detailed breakdown of the tools, you want to learn more information about it, just make sure you drop your email right now in the chat. I will have my team. Yeah, Maureen, sorry about that. We realized it's spring break. Drop your email in the chat right now. I will have my team, if you already signed up for it, because you saw it, just signed up for it, I'll get you the training. If you haven't signed up for it, because we had a couple hundred clients sign up for it, if you didn't sign up for it, we'll get you the training, and then we will get you information on how you could upgrade your account to AI Pro. But I want you to get into the training first so you see exactly what it is we built for you. Makes it really easy for you to understand what we've done. But drop your email in the chat. We'll make sure we get everything dialed in. And by the way, we are going to be doing one-on-one onboarding calls. So we've invested heavily at Listing Leads and building up our support teams. Something that we haven't done in the previous year because we've been a smaller company, but as the company's grown, we have invested heavily in building up our support teams. So we will be offering one-on-one support. Bear with us, like this kind of a new thing that we're doing. Most low-cost products, like $99 or $159, don't do any phone support at all. Just to be clear, like no one does. But I thought it would be helpful to have the ability, if you want to just jump on a training call with a person to help you get set up, just to have that one-on-one touch, if you will. So we've invested in that really aggressively. Bear with us. Obviously, we're kind of filling up our calendars, but we will definitely provide that as an option for those of you who are interested in that type of support. So on that note, every Monday, without fail, Campaign Kickoff right here, 2 p.m. We also host, just so you know, we also host our fast track calls at 1 p.m. as an additional coaching call. Appreciate everyone being part of Listing Leads. We will get back to everyone who dropped the email. We'll get you all the information about Pro, and we'll make sure that you're dialed in on that side as well. Let's go out there and just keep the main thing. Execute the plan. That's the thing. Execute the plan, and the rest of the stuff all falls into place. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on Friday. Be well.